January 15th, 2022. Halfcast 222, episode 222. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Founder of nationwide tax prep firm sentenced to prison for skimming $70 million in exorbitant fees over a 5-year period. Please tell me it's one of those companies that make people dress as the Statue of Liberty and stand on the corner all day. The founder of a nationwide tax preparation chain has been sentenced to a year and a day, just a year in prison for running a tax refund advance scheme that fleeced customers with $70 million in excessive fees. Fizem Agbazian of Cincinnati, Ohio, had been accused of drawing in customers to Instant Tax Service, his chain of 1,100 tax preparation offices across the country, with ads offering loans ahead of their expected refunds. No W-2, no problem. No ID, no problem. We can get you up to $2,500 today. Federal prosecutors said Dayton-based Instant Tax Service, ITS, advertised the loans as being backed by third-party lenders despite having no partnerships with any financial institution. Instead of paying advances, prosecutors say the business used customers' financial details from their loan applications to file tax returns, often without their approval or knowledge. The firm would then collect high fees for the work. It's like the payday loan fraud where they can afford to give you high advances because the return on their investment is just going to be absurd. Between 2005 and 2011, prosecutors say the Dayton-based firm collected $70 million in fees from hundreds of thousands of unwitting customers. The customers that they can't wait to buy a new TV and book a trip every year. Many hundreds of thousands of victims put their trust in Agbazian, ITS, and his nationwide advertising campaign. Because you can trust a guy with a beard and a mohawk dressed in a Statue of Liberty costume. They had every reason to expect some modicum of fiduciary responsibility from ITS. Instead, defendant abused their trust, consciously misled ITS customers, and defrauded them collectively out of millions of dollars. Prosecutors wrote in a filing asking the judge to sentence Agbazian to 15 years in prison. Agbazian's attorney, Ben Dusing, wrote in court papers that his client had essentially cut corners during the height of the 2008 economic crisis when he lost access to lending and his business was struggling. That's not an excuse. This was not the predatory get rich at the expense of the poor scheme the government makes it out to be, Dusing wrote. That's exactly what it is. Agbazian was found guilty by a jury in 2017 of tax evasion, willful failure to withhold and pay over employment taxes, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and bank fraud. After the trial, court dismissed 5 counts of wire fraud, but let the conviction for conspiracy to commit wire fraud and other counts stand. Since ITS was shut down in 2013, Agbazian has launched a small moving company in Ohio. Don't give this man any more businesses, which he hopes to expand. I wonder what the advertising for his moving company is. A guy standing on the corner dressed as a couch all day. Woman who tried to kill man she married for citizenship, sentenced to 15 years. Because there's nothing more American than killing your husband. A New York woman will be spending over a decade behind bars after almost killing an elderly man with a straight razor nearly 2 years ago. The Westchester County District Attorney's Office announced Thursday that Olivia Rimo, 30, was sentenced to 15 years in state prison after nearly killing a 74-year-old man she married to illegally obtain U.S. citizenship. Who is this woman that chose prison over getting deported? What is she really running from? Rimo, a native of Jamaica and not a legal U.S. citizen, according to the office, pleaded guilty to the felony charge of attempted murder in the second degree. The sentence also includes 5 years of post release supervision. She just bought herself about 20 years to find someone else to marry and make it stick this time. Westchester District Attorney Miriam Roca said in a statement in November that Rimo had pleaded guilty to the charge of attempted murder. Violent acts are particularly heinous, dum dum, when they target the elderly, Roca said. My office will continue to work with our partners in law enforcement to pursue justice for all vulnerable victims of crime. The attempted murder occurred on January 24th, 2020, in New Rochelle, New York, in the home of the victim she illegally married. Authorities said that Rimo pushed the man and wedged him between the toilet seat and a wall. She then slit his wrist with a straight razor. Jeez! The situation was reported to the New Rochelle Police Department by the victim's home health aide, who had arrived but was denied entry by Rimo. When police arrived at the scene, they reportedly heard the victim screaming from the bathroom. Following an investigation, New Rochelle police arrested Rimo on February 11th, 2020. Authorities said that the pair were informed during the meeting that they would have a hard time passing their marriage interview. No matter what happens, I'll always love you. Yeah, but you're like 80. How much longer will I have until that runs out? Definitely sounds like an angle. Like she was pushing to get her citizenship so then she could probably push to get a loved one or a family member over there to get their citizenship and so on and so forth and what have you, and forthwith and henceforth. Cracker Barrel was ordered to pay $9.4 million dollars to a man who was served toxic chemicals, but it is unlikely he will receive the full amount under Tennessee law. The settlement was reached years after the man first alleged that he suffered severe injuries. Yep, the chef special, but due to Tennessee laws, he will likely not receive the full amount per a local news outlet. Despite the settlement, the claimant, William Cronin, may not receive the total amount due to laws related to damages in the state. The legal case had been going on for many years after the incident, which occurred in April 2014 at a branch in Marion County. A settlement was finally reached this month, according to Bailey and Greer, the law firm that represented Cronin. He had been eating lunch at the Cracker Barrel branch when a waitress refilled his glass with what she thought was water. After taking a sip, he felt a burning sensation in his mouth and esophagus. It was later discovered that the contents Cronin were served were in fact a mixture of water and Ecosan, a chemical solution Cracker Barrel uses to clean its kitchen area. As a server, how the hell do you not know the difference between your drinking water, your dishwater, and your mop water? Cronin suffered severe permanent injuries, including regular cramping, bloating, diarrhea, and reflux pain after meals. His lawyer stated in a press release he also lost wages and future earning capacity, according to the lawsuit. In response to the verdict, Cracker Barrel said in a statement to Insider, "We have a coupon for another free lunch." While we have great respect for the legal process, we are obviously disappointed by and strongly disagree with the jury's award in this case, which involved an unfortunate and isolated incident that occurred at one of our residents 8 years ago. It added, although we are considering our options with respect to this verdict, we are glad this matter is behind us so we can better focus on caring for our guests and employees around the country. Oh, fuck you. If you could find a way to wiggle out of paying the 9.4 million, who cares about his injuries? That's basically what you're saying. Cronin's lawyer, Thomas Greer, did not immediately respond to insiders' request for comment. This is a loss. Anything other than that full $9.4 million is a loss. On January 6th, Cronin reached an agreement with the restaurant for the $9.4 million settlement. However, it is likely he will not receive the full amount due to a statutory cap that Tennessee asserts on non economic damages. What? This is bullshit. Under Tennessee law, only up to $750,000 in non economic damages can be recovered. This is a bunch of bullshit because not even the ethics of Cracker Barrel, they're like, oh, well, the maximum $750,000. Yeah, they're not even going to reach out to the man and at least offer him, meet him halfway, $5 million for his troubles. You crippled this man. Just horrible. Won't even reach out to give the man at least half of what he was entitled to. Just cut him a check for $750,000 and give him a coupon for lunch buffets at select Cracker Barrel locations. It's fucked up, man. Jail time for Instagram user who used dozens of fake accounts to get ex-boyfriend arrested repeatedly. Finally, some justice. And this is the feeling that I get every time you people, every month, you people have a new account name. You change accounts every month. What are you doing? Who are you hiding from? Why every time you delete your account and start a new one, the first person you come to is me? This is the type of stuff that you make me think that you got going on. Who are you hiding from? Who are you? A woman who created 30 fake Instagram accounts to make it appear as though her ex-boyfriend was stalking her is headed to prison. That man wasn't thinking about you. I guess that's the whole point, according to a report on Yahoo News. But Courtney Ireland Ainsworth's scheme wasn't discovered until she had her ex, Louis Jolly, arrested 6 times, amounting to more than 80 hours spent behind bars, lost employment, and home curfew. The Northern English woman, 20, reportedly filed complaints against Jolly throughout the second half of 2020 and made 10 complaints that she was being stalked and harassed. She only 20 years old? That's some third husband bitter divorce energy right there. Using menacing screenshots she claimed were from Jolly, including one that appeared to indicate he was going to put a fucking blade in her chest. Ireland Ainsworth even managed to get an order of protection against the 22-year-old man she dated for 2 years. Prosecutors blasted the defendant for her deliberate and malevolent lies that were uncovered after investigators discovered the IP address used on several of the fake accounts attributed to Jolly belonged to Ireland Ainsworth. Bum, bum, bum. But not until after you arrested old boy multiple times. Great work, Scotland Yard. She reportedly confessed to the ruse and was sentenced to 10 months incarceration and issued a restraining order lasting 1 decade for perverting justice. She's only 20. She got a lot of that left in her, man. Defense lawyers argued that the breakup from Jolly caused Ireland Ainsworth a form of PTSD, which contributed to her bizarre behavior. But the judge in the case reportedly ruled that it was the victim and his family that was impacted by the absolutely shattering effect of the defendant's actions. Fun show, fun show, fun show. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.